This is the stuff dreams are made of. I'm writer-collector Ryan Condal.
And I'm writer-collector Dave Mandel, and you're listening to the original, right? The original movie prop collecting podcast. And not only the original movie prop collecting podcast, but the 100th episode of the stuff dreams are made of, which is pretty great. We made it to 100.
We made it.
They said it wouldn't last. Yeah.
We're here. We're in the same space.
We're in the same space. We spent a lot of money to make that look like we're on the same continent.
It's amazing.
Really, two studios. We've built two exact replicas of this part of my apartment.
Yeah.
It really looks real. I was just touching the finger of basically an actor who's here with me. It's actually Army Hammer. And then Ryan also has Army Hammer with him. He's touching fingers with Army Hammer. We take Army Hammer out. We replace them with each other, and here you go.
Yeah.
We're coming to you live from my condo, and as you can see, if I go like this, it looks like I'm wearing the Cat in the Hat's hat.
And if I go like this, it looks like I can drink from Dave's water jug.
Empty water jug. Exactly. Welcome to the condo. 100 episodes. It's really wild.
This is very exciting.
Thank you to the audience.
Yeah.
By the way, we hit 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, which seems
incredible.
Fake.
Yeah.
Like
they're Russian bots.
Are we scamming each other?
Yeah.
Like it really seems like we have bought bots somehow. We did advertise the show. We made a trailer and we've advertised the show, and it's been seen a lot.
Yeah.
And our Star Wars video,
Bart
and our Star Wars and Star Trek videos have been seen a lot.
Yeah,
but 15,000 subscribers, and yet our average video is still 400 views. So I'm not quite sure what that means.
They're waiting for us to do something good.
Gotcha. Well, listen to me, 15,000 subscribers. There's more unboxing videos coming your way very, very soon. In fact, we're going to do a live unboxing during this episode. That is going to definitely disappoint you.
Going to blow your mind.
100 episodes. What are you thinking about now at 100 episodes?
I was trying to do the hours math for how long we've spent talking to each other on the, because you remember some of our earlier seasons, we had long,
the 3-hour episodes,
long catalog episodes and everything else.
The good old no one works days.
Yes.
When on COVID, it's like, God, we should have done another 3 hours. Should we have done a 6-hour show to help fill the day?
Can we call it like 250 hours of podcasting?
Oh, God,
it's probably something like that, right? That was the thing that I think really blew my mind with
just these sheer hours.
Sheer amount.
If any of our fans would like to look at every episode and total up the hours for us, that would be, I will find something cool here at my house or my condo and send you something.
I'm looking at it all around.
Ryan will send you something too. We'll send you something really cool. How many hours?
Maybe that very excited Batman over there.
Very, very excited Batman. Or maybe dun 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 dun.
Oh, what was this?
That's what's so incredible. What is it? We don't know.
Oh, is it like a mystery box?
Mysterious Japanese box, but it does come with like robot parts or something. I don't know. So
very good.
Perhaps mysterious Japanese box. Perhaps what else is here? Ooh, Thor bottle opener.
Is that a
yes?
Thor
Whoever
2 hammer?
Yes, this is an authentic Thor 2 hammer. Purchased hashtag private deal, but I'm pretty sure it's authentic because you can see the loop has no wear whatsoever and is solid steel, which is exactly the same as in the movie. And it's the actual size as they are in the movie, and it opens bottles just like
Thor does.
Yes.
That's cool. I like that actually.
Yeah. Kind of not bad.
Yeah. I have a Batarang one. I really enjoy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, tradesies.
Yeah.
We're making deals.
Yeah.
But no, there's something here for everyone. But no, we'll send you something. How many hours of this show have we done? It doesn't seem like 100. I mean, I know that sounds silly.
Yeah.
I know people say that. It does not seem like 100 in a good way.
They're much easier now. Like I feel like it felt like such a death slog to get through 10 earlier, whereas now we kind of fly through these things, and then at some point Bart just says, "Hey, we're on, this is number 11." And you're like, "Oh wow, Can I give you a compliment?"
Okay, I will give you a compliment.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like a criticism, but it's about you were I don't know if you were nervous or less comfortable on the mic early on.
Very much.
Because you had not done it.
Yeah.
And I guess I had the slight advantage that I had definitely in my travels of
reps, yeah.
like whatever Veep, whatever, I had done I'd never done my own podcast, but I definitely had done the mic thing and fill an hour of conversation. So yeah.
You're also a huge bully, so
well, that too. Yeah.
Makes me nervous.
The shot.
Army Hammer.
Out of my shot. The beauty of this is there's no one to unedit me talking over you, so that's good. That's all true. One mic. It's all just one thing.
One track.
Yeah.
He doesn't edit that out anyway. Still very good.
I'm trying to think what do you have any vision for the next 100 episodes?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think we've fallen into a nice rhythm. We do these seasons when we feel like we can, and we have stuff to talk about. I think we've started building them around auctions, which seems like or auction seasons, right? Which is the right way to go.
The big auctions kind of define our season.
Because it kind of gives you, I would say a third to a half of your episodes, right? In build up and then postmortem and all that. And also that's kind of the news nowadays. I mean, that really,
No, very much so. I mean, a lot of times when it's what's new in props, well, it's big auctions with big pieces. Yeah. And obviously sometimes we don't talk about them until we're ready to talk about the auction itself because we don't want to sort of blow the lead. But exactly. Very much so.
So that's been good because I think we'll have to repeat guests and things as we go along, but it also seems like we go into a season and sometimes I go, are we going to be able to fill out?
No, it's always like, how are we going to fill? And then it's like, wait, how did that go so quickly?
And then you're kicking people down to the next season. So I mean, it's not work. It's fun. So I'm happy to keep continuing.
Yeah. Amazingly, we used to actually prepare for the episodes. Now,
would you believe it?
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Bart recorded it. Maybe you can tag it somewhere in the episode. Our 35 seconds of show prep.
It was. What do you want to talk about? Okay, we'll talk about 100th episode. If I think about the next 100 in no particular order, I would say, I mean, obviously the auctions drive the show, and I do enjoy. I think people enjoy sort of seeing what we're up to, but also I think I like talking about the pieces. I actually like talking about the stuff we're not bidding on, maybe sometimes more so. And I like hearing about when our audience, buys pieces, just wherever that fits in. I think that's all really cool. I do like the extra room. I like, this season without plugging anything too directly yet, because we'll sort of surprise when we come. We've got an author coming up. I'm excited about that we're able to work an author in. That's something we've been talking about doing.
Books seem smart.
Yep.
So that's good.
Books is goods. But no, I mean, it's sort of, wouldn't mind having, this sounds silly. If you think about the group of 12, if every 12, if every other one there was an author, that would be kind of cool. Because I think you and I read a lot of film books, and we actually talk about a lot of film books and stuff. And so that's kind of good.
More deep dives, which I really enjoy. Those actually do require more
a little
prep.
Bit of prep. Yes.
And you want it to be something, you don't want to just do it to do it. You want it to be something interesting and substantial that will appeal at least to our our niche.
I mean, I certainly don't mind going
niche audience.
I don't mind if it's something, small and we go really in on, but no, it's always fun, especially when it's something, we know a little bit of. And so we've got more of those coming up. We've been talking a little bit. I don't know if we'll get to it this season, maybe next season, maybe a Star Trek one, like phasers and communicators from the original series.
That would actually, that would be great. And there's some news coming in that direction. Yes. So to wrap it around
I guess it's announced now already.
I guess that's right.
There's a phaser and a communicator coming up in Julian's, who brought to you by Heritage and not Prop Store. Anyway.
And there's also a Screen Match new tricorder coming to you from Prop Store, brought to you by
Heritage and not Julian's.
But I mean, it's a new landing party set that is fully at least fresh to market. They were sitting with collectors,
and the communicator, which has had a little restoration work, has the original clockwork, whatever, which is
fantastic. Yeah,
and obviously, if we do a deep dive, we'll learn what to call it, the clockwork, the thingy, the clockwork, the
hologram thingy,
So more of those, I think that would be really good. I think if we can make sure we're trying to do those more regularly.
Yeah, and I really want to continue striving for like a big guest, like a collector guest, like Guillermo del Toro could we get Peter Jackson to come on at some point and chat to us? We know we know he's a
I mean, he
collector.
comes to all the live broadcasts. I mean, he just doesn't.
He's always downloading. He's just he's shy.
Very shy. Yeah. It's okay, Peter. Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Tell us if, as we head into the next 100, shoot us an email. Tell us if there's anything you kind of want to know or hear about that we haven't done, or
guests that we should have on, collectors that maybe we haven't. I mean, there are other collectors within our sort of social circle, friend circle, that we have yet to talk to, because I don't think we found the right topic necessarily. It's nice to figure out a way to tie.
Yeah, we try and sort of, with the guys we know, try and pick a topic that suits them well. It's why certain times, obviously, like Rob Klein, who's been doing it forever, you've seen a couple of times, because he fits into a bunch of different areas.
Yeah, his knowledge base is incredible, so he can kind of slot in wherever we need. Yeah.
All right, but write us and tell us what you think. Write us at something.
Dreams are made of podcasts at gmail.com.
I'm going to learn. For the next 100 episodes, I'm going to know the email, and Ryan isn't. So that's right. Exciting.
That's where we're headed.
Yeah. Very, very exciting. Well, it's been very also fun for the 100th and our upcoming some videos that are coming up, which we won't mention because they are brought to you by Heritage, but not really. Mm-hmm. You've been here, which is very fun here, having you here in LA.
Yep.
And we just came back from Comic-Con, which was kind of neat. I guess just talking about props for a minute, there were some costumes and props on display. Did you have a favorite that you saw?
Actually, it's kind of left field, but I really enjoyed the penguin costume. I just thought it was a really nice, and I guess I didn't pay that much attention to the design in the Batman, his design. I mean, I really liked the design in that movie particularly the Batman costume, I thought. And I've seen some stuff that's gotten out, and just all the little, the hardware and things. And it's very cool the way that they visualized it as like he was kind of kit bashing this in his own basement to make it, and the suit's not refined yet because it is year 2 or whatever the story is. But I never paid much attention to the penguin costume, and I got to stand in front of it for a few minutes and just look at it, and it just had a lot of really nice little details to it that were, I don't know, exciting. And I've heard, as a fellow HBO employee, I've heard from within the company very good things about it.
You know what? It's funny
on the series.
I have heard a lot of people liking Penguin, and in particular, people that do not give a shit about Batman.
Yeah.
Like not like I'm not talking about other grown man children that are like, ooh, Batman. Like people that are just like, I don't care about Batman. Never saw Batman. Don't care about Batman. Boy, the Penguin was really interesting.
So other supervillains from the Gotham. I don't think about Batman at all.
Yeah. It's like he doesn't exist. So I don't know. That seems very exciting. And I think I told you this. It's worth a read, although I don't think it's connected per se to the show. But if you like Penguin, longtime listener, comic book scribe Tom King, has, I believe, the first trade paperback of his ongoing Penguin series, and it's a top of my reading pile.
That's really cool. We got to meet Tom briefly and say hello. Hello, Tom. I think he's a fantastic writer.
By the way, one of the great things about San Diego Comic-Con was actually, by the way, everyone that said hello to us, whether they were very famous Penguin writers for DC Comics, Rob Liefeld, who we got to see. We got to hang with Rob a bunch.
Yeah.
Crazy House of the Dragon fan, like almost unsettling. Like I got the sense that even you were starting to get a little nervous. He was such a big fan.
No, I loved it. I mean, we talked about it when he was on the podcast, but Rob is the exact epicenter of my comic love in that period, and coming in that very exciting phase when all that stuff was happening, and the McFarlane stuff and the Image stuff and all that. So he was a god to us as 10 11-year-olds, and getting to meet him, getting to say hello. I got to meet him face to face, and as he talked very excitedly about House of the Dragon, it just kind of blew my mind. I told him I want him to draw a Vermithor for us.
That'd be very good.
So he was like, oh, I like that. So we have to nudge that along and get a Vermithor commission for the podcast. But really enjoyed all that. But I know you, Tom King, but I was going to say, but also just a lot of fans saying hello, and and thank you.
We took some pictures and stuff. But that was especially, I think, when we were together, it seemed like that would happen more so than perhaps when we were apart.
But always a pleasure.
Yeah, so thank you. Sorry, Tom King.
He's a fantastic writer, and Dave actually turned me on to a bunch of his recent recent work in the Batman, because I was sort of like, what's good Batman recently? Because I was on a kind of Batman kick.
Brought to you by Marvel.
Very good. And there's this it's like a series called One Bad Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was they did them for all the different villains.
Yeah.
And different creative teams did different guys, and he very much sort of took it upon himself to do the Riddler, which was really cool, and kind of I don't want to say a reinvention, but certainly recasting the Riddler and making him a little more serious and a lot more deadly.
And I just more scary and kind of sinister and serial killery. And and I just really smartly written, so really enjoyed that. And got to meet him and say hello, and he's working on exciting stuff, and it's just fun to meet other people that are doing cool stuff.
I got to see the Furiosa costume. Did you see that?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Western Costume or some kind of costumers guild had a teeny tiny booth.
They had the
on like the
suit
art
last year from Dune, and I in my head I was like, I should try to find that. So that's your favorite thing.
I'll send you a link or put it up, and it was really cool. It had like that really neat like belt buckle thing, and it was sort of with the pilot hat, and it really looked good.
I think it's the CGA or whatever, the Costumers Guild
that may
of America,
be it, but it was connected to, I don't know. Anyway, they had that costume there,
or CDG, Costume Designers Guild, maybe. Yes, it is the new kind of trade association for the costume designers.
Really, really cool, really, really nice costume. We'll put up a picture of it. I took a nice shot of it. I'll share it with you as well. That is a movie that I enjoyed in the theater. I have now watched it a couple of times, and while it is not Fury Road for me, it's really growing.
I'm going to give it another shot, because I watched it at home and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I sort of got to the end and I was like, I don't know if I need to do that again. Whereas Fury Road, I probably watch every other year or so.
It's fascinating. It has a lot of layers to it, and I think maybe in a weird way, it's almost more about the world building and maybe less about Furiosa, which is why maybe perhaps it's not as pure a story. You know what I mean? But I got very into the various encampments and the different. I don't know. There was just I don't know. It just
great.
It grew on me a lot.
I really liked the world and the design and everything. For me, I think I was sort of taken aback at how long it took for Anya Taylor-Joy to come on screen.
Yep.
And I think that just sort of unseated me.
But I do give, I don't know,
credit.
I give credit and sort of the guts to make a movie and kind of go, we're going to get to her when we're going to get to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know, kind of interesting. Yeah. Anything else at Comic-Con?
Do you think we get a third Mad Max movie or no?
I'm sad to say no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention if it has quietly been making money somewhere, so maybe
I'm sure on VOD a ton of people bought it, but does that justify?
I know, I'm just not sure if they ever look back and go, oh, wait a second, it did make a lot of money. Did you pick any good pickups at Comic-Con for you? Anything you bought?
I picked up a commission that I got. I had commissioned at Lake Como Comic-Con, or Comic Art Con, which is a newer convention. It's 5 years old, 6 years old. That's specifically about comic art, comic artists, and then comic art dealers, but specifically
and limiting the access, not limiting the access, but capping, I believe, the number of people that can attend the convention, so that you are in some ways guaranteed a commission or guaranteed FaceTime with the artist, and not feeling like I'm standing in a line for 4 hours.
And I talked to everybody. I
did hear a lot of horror shows about San Diego this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like I heard a lot of horror shows about like people waiting like 3.5 hours in the sun for the Bear like chef's apron, like where it was supposed to be an hour and it was like 3.5 hours, and then stuff about like non-ticket holders getting in over ticket holders who like bum rush the like stuff like that. And I will say, sorry, this is now turning into a completely different podcast. I've been going to Comic-Con, and I've been staying at the Marriott, the big Marriott there. I've been staying there since 1995 when I first moved out to
so you're
Los
coming
Angeles.
up on 30 years.
Yeah.
Have you been every year since?
Not I missed the COVID years. It was off. It didn't exist. And I'm trying to remember, did I miss, was was it off for 2 years or was
Yeah.
it one? Okay, so then, yeah, no, that was when I was shooting. So no, I just other than the COVID years,
Okay, you made
I've
it.
been
Even with Euro trip and all that.
Euro trip. I got back just in time.
Right.
I like landed, went to San Diego Comic-Con, walked on the floor, bought something, and then slept for 3 days. Like it was like that, but I did make it.
Yeah.
But we got there this year, you know, and again, everything the same from our perspective, like pulled up at the same time,
Yeah.
me with the same person, the same car. But it was like, got to the hotel, like they were to valet, you know, you valet the car. There was nobody to valet the car. There was no one helping us with luggage. Waited forever to get in, you know, get into our room. It just seemed like something happened and they just sort of forgot how to run a convention.
But they did have plenty of people outside telling you,
barking and yelling at you.
You could not sit on the patio any longer at night, which was crazy. That place is joyless.
18 people telling us we couldn't sit by the pool at the Marriott, and no one helping with the bags.
Yeah, so
thank you. Brought to you by Hyatt.
Very good.
So that was interesting. I picked up a couple of old Micronauts toys from when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That Crazy Mark Huckabone, God bless him, had from Heroes is his company, and had just these beautiful mint sealed Biotron and Astrolab. So that was very exciting. Very so yeah, that was very, very fun.
Oh, my commission, by the way, I should say, is,
we didn't
of course,
that,
is a Conan painted, drawn, pen and inked by the great Simon Bisley,
who is just a genius, a mad genius,
and I got the full Bisley experience. Yeah. This is the guy that created Lobo, and he very much like when you sit there and you go like, what does the guy that created Lobo look like? And then you meet Simon, it's like, yep, that's totally
exactly
the
right. Like kind of looked like
metal roadie,
kind of looked like the way your Conan looked. Like if Conan got a little grayer and grew a beard and put like a jean jacket on. Sort of very sort of that.
But no, very, very enjoyable. I've been a fan of his for forever.
Complete with severed head.
Complete with severed head. Yeah.
I thought it was wonderful.
And I'm a big I like 2000 AD, but particularly Slain the Horned God. That story really, really got me. And
did you think about that? There was that Slain piece that was on the
cover.
Wall. You went back and forth. The number or the piece or both?
It's both.
Yeah. I get it.
It's both.
But it was very funny, by the way. I have to share this with the audience now. So, you know, Ryan on the show, of course, telling people, you know, he got the Watchmen page and his unboxing thing, and I could watch it. He was not as aware of it, but I got to watch he's like fresh chum in the comic art waters. So I just got to watch sort of the dealers and these sort of pseudo dealer collectors that pretend to be collectors but are dealers, just sort of circling around him and trying to make conversation and offer and mention things, whatever. It was just like, wahoo, new money, yeehaw!
I was the young guy on the first day of prison.
It was really, really funny to watch. Just kind of like, look at them telling them about stuff. Yeah. So,
fantastic, yeah.
So that was very enjoyable. Yeah.
I spent $400,000.
It's worth it. It was worth it. It was funny. I brought a couple pieces down, you know, kind of in case of emergency, break glass, and I left with them. I never really never found anything.
Thinking that if you needed to trade out,
the trade does not happen so much these days.
Very pretty stuff in there.
Yeah, the trade doesn't happen so much these days. More just like, well, I can probably sell these in about a minute. And if I wanted to buy something, you know, have somebody, you know, like a 3-way deal of some sort. But yeah, no, I left with my pieces, which was fine. But
did you buy any art?
I started 2 things that maybe will turn into buying art, but they weren't really at San Diego.
One of them I'm sort of aware of.
I think you're aware of one of them, and one was a piece I've always liked that I ran into the guy who owns it and just said, hey, is that something you're really attached to? And he wasn't. And we sort of said, well, let's talk. We'll see where it goes. And in some years, that's what San Diego is, which is okay for me.
The prelude to a deal.
The prelude to a deal. Sometimes it's the bringing it home, you know, it's the end of the deal. It's the finishing. Yeah. So it's, you know, I didn't see a piece on the wall that got me excited. I did get another piece for my sketchbook. I got Jock, the wonderful artist Jock.
Fantastic.
And actually I should say this, sorry, got to meet Jock, who I, you know, sort of chit-chatted with a little bit online. Just great guy, dinner, drinks, whatnot. Had him over to look at art and stuff here at the condo. He did a gorgeous Bizarro Superman piece for me in my all Bizarro Superman sketchbook, which I will maybe show a picture of.
Great.
But I did actually before Comic-Con, but I'll count it as San Diego Comic-Con. I bought a piece from Jock himself. I bought a Batman cover from him. So I was very excited about that. Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
cool.
the alternate cover to Batman 150, and it's gorgeous.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
love to see
him
that.
doing Batman,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic. It's hard to believe, with no offense to the actual cover to the book, it's hard to believe it's an alternate cover. I mean, I guess it's because it's more rare and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gorgeous.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So that was exciting. So
do
yeah,
you have that here? Is that
no, I don't. Of
okay,
course,
okay.
I don't.
Well, I need to see
but
an image of it.
But I do. What's new in props?
Yeah.
I actually do have something here that I thought we could do a live special 100th episode brought to you by Heritage. There, I got it in finally. That I could do here on camera as such with us just here, which is, I think it counts. It's prop related. I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Okay.
So
I'm excited. Am I going to vamp for a bit?
Phil for a minute. Will you, Phil? Sing the folks a nice little song, won't you?
This is the rain delay. Picture not coming out. Well, I will say I really enjoyed walking around looking at all the art at Comic-Con. I think this is something that I've been interested in for a while, and I've always loved comic books and the original comic art. It's just been hard to split my vision between two rather expensive hobbies. But I think I finally kind of found my way into it, and I've made my very targeted list, my small and narrow list, and I am. I'm kind of happy with how it's going. And I will say, Dave, I also you and I got to look at something very interesting while we were there, which I did buy, which was the that beautiful I don't know whether they call it the portfolio edition or whatever, the Killing Joke. What are they calling it?
Oh my gosh,
that publisher.
I don't know what he calls it.
Yeah, it's not.
It's Graffiti Designs, Bob Chapman Graffiti Designs, who for years was doing all the different Marvel and DC merch. Forgive me, he's doing his version of an artist edition. It has a better name than that.
Yeah, artist edition, right?
But it's not. But he is the maker of. He previously did the Dark Knight book, which is incredible. The Sandman book, which is incredible. The Ronin book, which is incredible.
Oh, Ronin, okay.
And the Killing Joke book. They're taking orders right now for the signed limited edition version,
and it's gorgeous.
The book is beautiful. He had a test
some
book
of your
there.
beautiful art.
My Killing Joke stuff is in there, which is pretty great. I'm very happy about. And actually, my piece is the American cover version. Is a piece from my collection. It's the Brian Boland Who's Who piece. Yeah. That was kind of cool.
It's wonderful, and I think that's sort of where I've landed, because I think I wanted to target a special Batman piece, and I think that's
Killing Joke.
I think that's the thing. So there you go. Here's another another mook with money.
Wow,
so
people to begin
begin
the circling.
Dreams are made of podcast@gmail.com.
Alrighty.
But that art is just gorgeous. It's very evocative to me of that period of DC, and it reminds me that the paneling and the way things are so tightly finished and drawn, which reminds me very much of
Boland in general. So
and maybe a little more influence, because it just reminds me of Watchmen when you look at some of those.
Well, obviously the Alan Moore writing, so
right?
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty. So I apologize. This is hard to do. Sort of.
This is Ryan gets stabbed with scissors.
And I'm going to really try and make it look like an accident. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to definitely look like an accident. So. Oh God, I moved the computer. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. You watch the computer.
All right. We're good.
Try and do this. This is very exciting. Live unboxing. This is from Australia.
They make me so nervous.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a method to my madness.
Okay. From Australia, guys.
From Australia. It is not an Australian movie.
Okay. So my hopes of a Mad Max jacket have been dashed.
It is not a Mad Max jacket.
Okay.
I will tell you, I guess your hint is it is Planet of the Apes related.
Okay, fantastic.
It is Planet of the Apes related. Very good packaging
Australia,
so far. Australia, just where a collector happened to live.
Okay.
A lot of bubble wrap in here, which I guess is good.
Maybe a box within a box.
I know, if I can figure out.
Do you want me to start doing things while you...
I'm going to give you that, because that looks like a bonus. I don't even think that's the thing.
Oh, all right.
This is not what I thought it was.
I actually have no idea what this is.
So now I don't even know what I'm looking at, because maybe the guy sent me extra stuff. This is so weird. What is that? Oh, this is not what I thought it was.
Okay.
Holy crap, this is the completely wrong box.
Okay.
Well, this is not something. This is completely different. This is the worst unboxing ever.
Should we unbox it?
Well, we can. These are from the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings. This is a set of the Dalton statues from Lord of the Rings, which are actually very cool. That's Strider. This is not what I thought it was. This is not from Australia
very
in the least.
Interacting with the camera
do you want to see another one? Then I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is from Lord of the Rings. This is completely not
the 100th episode, everybody. Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Well, this is what happens when I don't know what's in the boxes. That's very funny. All right, you want to try one more?
Yeah.
All right.
That's hilarious. I feel like I already unboxed the best one. Maybe a Gandalf, right?
Gandalf is pretty great, and Gollum is really good.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got lucky.
Oh, look at that.
I think so. Guys,
come on, that's pretty incredible. I know it's not your Peter Jackson,
shall not pass.
But pretty excellent, and I do love the costume.
Iconic.
All right, well, we won't have to do.
I actually like these.
Do you want to do one more? It's one more.
Yeah, okay,
right,
cool.
One more.
Do you think it's Gollum?
It would be great if it were Gollum.
It's just gonna be like Pippin or something now.
This is so funny. Oh, I see. Yeah, this was from London, not from yeah.
It's so good, guys.
Bilbo?
Maybe. That's Bilbo, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, Bilbo. Bilbo with Sting.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
I love the Ralph Bakshi. I realize this is sort of prop adjacent.
You like that movie?
I don't want to go back and watch it. I have fond memories of it. I like the character designs. I like the toys. I like these things.
Yeah.
I
was thinking of doing it with the girls because I think it's an easy entree into because we read the Hobbit
first
together.
One. Yeah, it's the first one, and you got to just sort of speed through the dwarf song. That's every now and then the dwarves sing. You gotta move yourself along a little bit.
I always skip those parts in the book, and then sometimes they wouldn't be paying attention. Sometimes I would get, "Hey, you're," and I was like, "I'm not doing. I'm not singing that." They sing a song, and that's usually how most books work. Where
you Princess Bride it up.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, anyway, that was almost something from Planet of the Apes.
Well,
to be continued in the next unboxing. You want to just put this next to you? Oh well, sorry.
So is this the whole?
Is a box of the entire? There's 13 of them. There's 13 of them. It's a full set. I'd never seen the full set before. A collector had them, and I grabbed them, and that's what collecting is all about. So
yeah. What a win for you!
I know, very very good.
That's good.
Anything? What's new in props for you? Other than any China figurines?
Trying to think.
Any figurines at all?
No figurines. I had to buy. I asked my eldest what she wanted from Comic-Con, and the answer was something from Indiana Jones, which surprised me because of all the lists that I could be given. I was like, I was like, okay, what do I find? And I found this great vintage Funko Pop dealer, and I saw a bunch of indie stuff in there, and I went in. I found the tote. Which I did not buy her because it's a bit disturbing, but I did enjoy that they made a giant cartoon Nazi.
Hand or
he's got the jacket over his, but I don't think his hand. I think it's just him. Because that's weird. Like he's.
Well, but that I mean, you wouldn't want this Kyle, but it was like that. Maybe just the whatever.
Yeah. Which is probably why they didn't do it.
They didn't make a pop of him holding a blazing hot fire poker going, like that. They didn't make that?
It is. I'm quite sure you will talk. They had a Marion that I found. So I grabbed that. And then I grabbed a Muppet for my little one because the Muppets delight her. And then they were like, well, it's 3 for. You buy 2, you get the 3rd. And I was like, I just don't really want one of these. And then they're like, come on, it's Comic-Con, whatever. So
So what did Caitlin get?
I'm smart enough. It's sitting on my desk. I got Henry Jones, Senior, in
Grail Diary.
No, just bobblehead. It's like a Funko bobblehead. It's sitting on my desk, and he's holding his umbrella and briefcase, and I enjoyed him. So that was my figurine. No, nothing much.
My children have officially reached the age of the last Comic-Con that they came to with me, which was, I guess 3 years ago. Like
Okay.
the one before COVID
Okay.
was the last one they were both at.
Okay.
Neither of them made it last year because of
that
camp.
was 5 years ago.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Neither of them came last year because of summer
Okay.
camp. And this year my son was there, my daughter was away, and he said to me, I don't know what I'll be looking for. I'm no longer interested in pop toys. And he still has some in his room, but he definitely did. He went through and did kind of a culling.
Okay.
And so some have been in the discard pile, including 5 years ago at Comic-Con. A friend got me to the front of the line, so we didn't have to wait, and we bought out all the exclusives. And I now just have a big bag of Funko exclusives from 5 years ago Comic-Con that no one in our house wants, and I'm hazarding a guess that nobody on planet Earth wants.
Well, I mean, there's still a thing.
So. Well, if you're a pop toy fan and you're interested, you reach on out. Yes.
Yeah.
Write us, please. Hurry. Yeah. But yeah, done with pop toys. Age 14 and a bunch. So,
yeah. I mean that does make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it was sad.
The thing that I did find that I showed you, I was delighted by. Inside Editions did this amazing Monster Book of Monsters journal. It's a journal that line journal that you can write in, but it's the fuzzy monster book with the teeth
and eyes
and the belt and the Monster Book of Monsters. It's like nicely embroidered in the center of the thing. It's gorgeous. I got it 50% off, so I bought 2 of them.
Very Muppety in a good way.
Yeah,
their version of it, not so much the actual prop, but their version very furry. In a good way. And which I thought was adorable.
The kids love it. They've been writing in it, drawing in it.
I think I said to you should have bought like 10 of them. They were going to fill it up really quickly.
I know. We'll end up.
No, that's excellent.
Yeah. We're trying to mitigate how many more suitcases we have to buy when we leave this place to return. But no, I mean, really, ready for segue transition?
Here we go. Buckle up.
Most of my prop thinking recently has been really get auction prep, thinking about what's going on this summer and getting ready for, we should talk about Heritage and then getting ready for the big auction.
One of the weirdest, craziest things was I guess I was sort of bidding one day on the phone, and then the next day, I'm not on the phone. Sorry, I actually bid in my hotel room on my phone, not on the phone, but I was click bidding. Although what I actually ended up doing, this is the first piece that I ultimately was bidding on day one. You may have seen the video, that Harvard Lampoon piece that I wanted to get. And what I ended up doing really was I was so nervous about the hotel internet, which was, rough to begin with.
Yeah.
So I kind of just put a really ridiculous number on that morning, like about an hour before the auction. I think I put $11,000 on it. And I won it for $1,300, but I was watching, making sure, like, I don't know, it didn't go to 12,000. I would have to bid again, but I was very, very nervous. And then I was watching, but ultimately didn't bid on the following day, which would have been Friday. I was watching the Y-Wing very, very intently. And I don't know, it got just high enough where it started to not feel like the price I wanted it to be.
How in that moment, as it went under the hammer, how serious did you get, I guess?
It's tough. I definitely, and I'll tell the truth. I was definitely thinking about bidding. I mean, it would have been, again, pressing. I hadn't arranged anything. I wasn't talking to anybody. So I was definitely thinking about it. I was texting, he texted me with the ultimate winner, who was sort of asking me what I was doing, which I didn't want to cost him money for no reason. I guess to his advantage, I knew it was him. There was a part of me that might have thrown a bid or two if I just was bidding in a pure vacuum. So I guess that answer is I probably could have thrown a bid or two if I'd maybe kind of. I was close. I think he still would have won, and I guess I would have cost him money.
Okay.
But so I didn't. I
got barraged with a bunch of text messages afterwards.
Everyone did Dave win? Because I do think people thought it was a certainly a better price than they maybe were thinking. I don't know. I mean, you thought that's where it was going to be.
I called it, right?
You were exactly on it. You were like,
I said
the penny,
one to 1.5, and it was 1.25. Yeah, I just thought if it crossed 1 million, I just thought the air would get super thin really quick, and it would slow down and peter out again, just because it's not an X-wing. And I think it's a wonderful prop. It's a wonderful, and this is the same sort of quandary I came to
when you were thinking about it in general. Yes.
When I think about it in this collection, it totally makes sense. And even with or without the X-wing, it makes perfect sense in this collection. In my collection, at that level, I'm doing even though props have become insanely expensive, what else you could get at that level, and across other franchises that I'm interested in. Whereas but even really, in the one franchise, I mean, you have to think about it that way too. Yeah. I mean, I just like you never shy away from spending money. For me, it's and this is my perspective looking in as you as a collector. It's comic art and it's Star Wars and maybe a little bit of Indiana Jones. Outside of that, I can't think of a thing that isn't one of those three things where I've gone, whoa, Dave spent, really spent on.
Yeah, someday though. But no, I mean, it's coming. I mean, and again, it's tough. I mean, Bakshi. Well, let's just show those off one more time. I mean, Imagine these talking and sitting with a bunch of radiator cap monkeys just having fun and chit-chatting with some monkeys and whatever. Should we open another one? Do you want to open one more? Just open one more as the show goes on. Just pull one out. Let's just pull one out while we're talking. For me, what it was, and I can be very honest, is
this one feels hobbity.
Ooh, okay. I was thinking about sort of the
Should we both open?
Yeah, we'll open two. I definitely was thinking about sort of, if you will, the $2 million number. And I guess what I was thinking about it was,
this is something huge.
Oh, I think that's like there's a display. There's a base. Yes, we'll save that till we have all the others open. I guess I started to wonder as I crinkle the. I think this is the Lady Galadriel. Oh,
Galadriel. Okay.
How beautiful she is.
That's it. It's like she's like an angel.
I would have so much power. You would be beautiful. This is really nice. I actually really like this one. Look at that.
Ah.
Ho ho ho.
And my
ox.
So good.
A little taller than I thought.
Yeah.
Dwarf. Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
Aragorn height there.
Yeah, very interesting that the fine people of Royal Dalton, England, tableware.
Yeah.
And the 1979 copyright people of Tolkien Enterprises.
This is Boromir.
Oh.
This is Boromir.
Well, then we're wrong.
Yeah.
Show Boromir again.
Okay. Boromir.
Sorry, Boromir.
You're sure that's Galadriel?
Gollum?
Yeah. Boromir.
Well, that's not what I would have ever thought Boromir looks like.
No.
That's not Sean Bean.
He's got the horn.
That's not Sean Bean. Horn of Gondor.
Yeah, it's the helmet that threw me, but that makes sense now that he's the same height as Aragorn.
Yes, right. Height-wise, that's good. All right, more to come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 8 more to go. This is very exciting. I guess I just started to think of like the time will come. Yeah, I mean, I guess I went like this. The time will come where I will spend another, two on another. Oh my God, there's a guest. I believe that's Kelvin. Grab the door because you're on the outside. I think the time will come where I do buy another big piece, but I decided the time will come where I do another big piece, but I decided it would not be a second ship. That I think the next one that comes is going to be, a lightsaber or something of that nature. That's why I didn't bid, but I was definitely I was watching a lot of stuff. Now you were interested until near the end. You were almost on the Blade Runner piece.
Yes.
So what happened there?
We talked.
Yes.
As we always do.
What? We did.
I seek counsel. And I was just doing I know I need to kind of set a limit on this and then live with it either way. You
wanted a number you could be proud of, but also figure out a number. That was the plan. Walk away.
Yeah. And we talked about it. We set a number that I was happy with. You smartly encouraged me, go one bid beyond that,
Yep.
and then that's your number. So I set the number, and then you said plus one bid. Great. And I was very happy with that. So Brian from Heritage called me.
Oh, you did it on phone?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah, I signed up. I had signed up for phone bidding because I just we were on the convention floor and whatever, and
Did you get reception on the floor? They called you when you were on the floor.
I was actually working.
You were at home in the hotel room
at that point. I was done, but it was like half an hour away, so I just hung out because I figured that was better. He phoned me up, and I just sort of talked about my plan, and the thing started bidding, and it was like in 3 seconds. It was not only past it, it was so far past it that
it was at 80,000, like
boom,
that. Yeah,
and it was just, I think somebody had a number, and then somebody might have just been going to the wall, and it just, that person hit their number and backed off, maybe like I did. And look, fair play, and good for them. You got a great, excellent piece. Brian was sort of saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry you can't win them all," whatever. I sent him a picture of my other prelim, and he's like, "Oh, you're just fine."
Yeah. So, and your prelim is I should about to say was fantastic. Your prelim is fantastic. Yeah. No, I like I said, I would have liked to have seen you get it. I understood the number, and I think your number was right. It went for a really good number. It's funny, and I've seen some discussion online. I guess it was sort of being split to some extent between the Alvin family, the original consigner, who was sort of, that's, you shouldn't have that. They had reached some sort of a settlement. And I don't know, between all of that, the split and legal fees, I wonder if anybody made any money.
Any money at all. Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, but no real answer. Yes. As long as Heritage made money. Brought to you by Hyatt. Brought to you by Royal Dalton Enterprises, maker of the fine 1979 set, including Very Tall Dwarf and Galadriel. Yeah. We'll open some more up as we go.
Yeah.
What else did you notice in the auction? I mean, I was paying attention. I thought the Sting poster art was kind of a little bit of a steal. Yeah. I thought that was going to go more aggressive, dare I say. And the Star Wars, I don't know if it has sold since. It didn't get a bid.
Oh.
So it was definitely something I was thinking of seeing where they might afterwards. I was a little surprised by that, I got to say. I just think it was a very impressive piece. Again, not the poster, so maybe you had to be one step beyond for that number. Because I think they were opening it at, they opened it at 30.
I was going to say 20, but maybe the bidding had gone up. No, but you were saying it didn't.
I thought it opened at
sell.
30, but maybe I'm losing track of things.
The Bob Peak Star Trek did very well.
That went really well. That was really
It's
nice.
not a Bob Peak record, but that's got to be a Star Trek record, right?
I'm not aware of anything selling like that. Well, no, because he had the Apocalypse Now poster, so that definitely
wasn't the poster.
No, wasn't there one that went really high?
Yeah, it was the Kurtz's head over the river, right? The German.
I thought that went really high,
like 6 figures, right?
I thought so. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it was a peak. It was. I mean, I don't even know. For all I know, I don't know.
Maybe peak Star Trek.
Maybe. Yeah, I thought it was really gorgeous. What I was really proud about, or not proud, not that we did anything. The two documentary John Ford Oscars went for I think hammered at like 80 and 60 or something like that, which I thought were really healthy. Yeah. We put a contingent together to try for the Mary Poppins. We got outbid, so someone got them. It's still a relatively, I thought, reasonable number. I think it was like 30,000 and change with the VIG.
Yeah,
and I wonder if they'll break them up. I wonder who won it. Maybe we'll see them again, or some of them again. But we tried for that, kind of got beat out there.
Yeah.
I will admit I would almost hit the button on one of the Vertigo pieces, the Edith Head, and once again didn't. And I did sort of regret that, because I ended up not bidding on the Star Wars, but it was definitely in reverse order. I think I would have done it. So again, one of those things.
So
so oddly, I won one Harvard Lampoon
with
piece.
The podcast walked away.
Yes, the whole podcast, $1,300, $650. $650 a piece. Yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I was happy, but I know. Like I said, my one regret was, in hindsight, I don't know. And it was funny. A lot of people. Sorry, I'm back to the Y-wing for 4 seconds. A lot of people were just like, "Yeah, it's not X-wing. It's not X-wing. It's not X-wing." I guess in the name of Star Wars, I guess I just would have liked to have seen a higher price in general, but I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
still like one of the highest selling Star Wars
yeah.
pieces publicly ever.
I was somewhat surprised that the underbidder on the X-wing, I don't know if he bid. I
Hmm.
never heard anything from him, so I don't know if he was the underbidder again.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
that he, having gone so far on the X-wing, I don't know, didn't want the Y-wing more, because I
Right.
think the guy that won it was prepared to go higher. So I guess there was the possibility of a bidding war was there.
That
It didn't
yeah, it gets
materialize,
worse. Yeah,
but such is life.
such as. Yeah.
Anything that surprised you, that jumped out at you, or anything that as you were watching? I'm trying to
I
think.
think the peak, because I watched that day, and that was like, oh, that,
Yeah.
not that it was oh my god, stop the presses or anything, but it was. I expected that to go 50. I thought,
Yep.
50 to 60, something in there, and it got up to 80 really quickly. And yeah, good for the sell. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of art and huge and a statement piece,
Right.
and whatever. And somebody did really well on that. No, I think
That wonderful Excelsior piece sold. I mean, it sold, I think, for its
yeah,
opening bid.
opening
But
bid.
that was
But
40,000, and
yeah,
it was not insignificant.
yeah. I mean, the auction did good numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, with Heritage, you can see the auction total counting
I
up.
never look at that.
in the
That's
bid
funny.
window.
Yeah. No, I'm sure the number was really
was strong.
solid. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think they did very well. It was a strong auction. The two pieces that we most targeted, we did not walk away with, which
No.
means that they did well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best pieces definitely had action. Certainly, we didn't win them. So, kudos to whoever did. And if you won and you want to come talk about them, please come on the show, because we would like to talk about that. I do wonder in this case, it's funny. Sometimes the auctions, just to talk about for a second, just, what and why. When the second auction almost is closer, I think the two auctions maybe somehow they're so on top of each other that it almost doesn't affect. See, I think it's the other way. I feel like because there's so much room here, people were definitely like, oh, I definitely was aware of some people going, I'm waiting for something down the line, as opposed to, I got to bid on everything.
Because tomorrow, and I got
one's in 3 days and one's now. There's a little
more of a panicked response.
There's a little more room that I think allowed people to breathe a little bit and maybe worked against panic bidding. I don't know, that's my own weird theory. I can't prove it, but that was the sense I got. I don't know. No sense.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think it was just it was a normal auction, I would say, with a couple of really great pieces in it that did very well.
It's funny.
This auction didn't have the splash of Planet Hollywood.
Well, what I was about to say was, I think in any other year, this was an incredible auction with the Y-wing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, because it followed Greg Jean and Planet Hollywood, and that there was no other multi-consigner auction in between. They at one point were going to have one, but didn't.
Yes.
That in a strange way, after those two, I mean, just everything seems anticlimactic. Like this almost ends up, unfortunately, having to be the sorbet auction. You know what I mean? This is the palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Because what can compete?
Right? Yeah. And we also know the ruby slippers are coming later.
Right. We know the ruby slippers are coming. And we also know, while we were at Comic-Con, our good friends at Heritage, Joe Maddalena, wasn't even at his auction, I think, in Dallas. I think he was at the National Convention, which is the big sports convention. And obviously they had a lot of sports stuff. They've got that Babe Ruth jersey that's like wild, like $30 million.
But it's like, it's photo match.
Yeah. Just incredible. It's the calling the shot one, I think, or something.
Yeah, or it's from that game.
Something.
He's obviously wearing this.
Wow. But Joe was there, I believe, and there are pictures, and we can show you online, but there are pictures online of they're doing a huge, giant Mighty Morphin Power Rangers auction.
Oh, wow.
So I saw pictures of a full run of what looked like the original colored ones. Did I ever tell you my idea, my Saturday Night Live Mighty Morphin Power Rangers sketch?
No.
This was the idea for the sketch. Never wrote it, because back then they didn't do film pieces the way they do film pieces now.
Okay.
And the gist of it was going to be the following. You have like five kids, right? Everybody, 5 kids. And I preface this that just for those of you listening who've never never seen us, never whatever. I should simply say to you that as I am pitching this to you, I am pitching this to you as an overweight comedy writer. So allow me to whatever. So the idea was you have 5 like teenage kids and they, I don't know, whatever the morphing Power Rangers do, they have like magic rings or something that they put together or something. Yeah. Kelvin, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, what do they do to transform? Our friend Kelvin Mao is sitting on the couch.
It's either rings or they do some kind of gesture.
Yeah, or some kind of gesture. Anyway, whatever they do, they become it. And then 4 of them would basically be them in the 4 colors.
Okay.
And this idea was in the Chris Farley days.
Okay.
The 5th one would have been Chris Farley in a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers outfit. And it just would have been 4 of them, and one guy gets very heavy when he transforms into Chris Farley. And then they're trying to fight the monsters and the ninjas, and he's got to climb over things and stuff like that. And that was the idea.
That's very
good. Never did it. And so now whatever.
I'm sad.
But they had a full set of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They looked really neat.
Yeah.
We are going to have to brush up on that. Because,
we need a Power Rangers expert. Yeah. So
if there's a 9-year-old listening that would like to come on and help us with Power Rangers,
write us.
But if you are a Power Rangers expert, actually write us because maybe we'll use you because Lord knows,
it is Bart's generation. Bart seemed to be very enthused.
He seemed happy, but even with Bart, I could tell there was a little bit of like not my favorite. So anyway. We acknowledge their importance in the universe of Japanese shows and toys and American commerce, but we do not know. But anyway, even
somebody
that
had a very funny pitch for that. I mean, because that was around a couple of years ago, and I think they did a movie. But
I think everything's been very serious. And
it came and went, but there was. It was one of the big pitches around town. Because
like you get to go in and like a bake-off
that sort of thing. And I remember somebody...
I could have pitched my idea.
You could totally pitch your idea. Somebody pitched me a very funny idea. I don't know whether it was their idea or whether somebody else had pitched, but there was this idea in the offing that basically you do this really high-budget version of the movie, and it's like it's the glossy, whenever they would make a TV show into a movie, it just they shot it on film and it was letterboxed and everything. It just had a different look to it. And then the pitch was basically, but when the action starts and they go into the Power Rangers mode, you just go immediately from the really high polished movie.
So them as kids, it's like gorgeous.
Yeah, and
then you're just back to like the Japanese footage,
shitty, like man in costume thing. And
I like that.
And I enjoyed it. I thought that was really funny.
That's really funny. Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story of when Schaefer Berg and I pitched the A-Team? Have I told that story?
No.
So we're the A-Team generation. You catch the bottom end of it. Okay, great. Wonderful.
I very much watched that show.
I did think the TV props, by the way, did okay too. I thought. Yes. I wasn't like I wasn't bidding, but I thought like, oh, not bad. So honestly, even though we were comedy writers, we wanted that job. I mean, I don't know how to say.
Is this the one that ended up becoming the Bradley Cooper movie?
Eventually, but years and years later. Okay. No, I believe when we pitched it, some aspect of the comic company Top Cow had the rights. And so Top Cow Productions might have had the rights at this point. And we went in and we pitched our entire idea. And what I remember about the movie was they did not hear a word we had to say. They were so confused that we were comedy writers pitching a straightforward action movie. And yes, there would have been funny dialogue but I mean funny the way like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was funny, snappy dialogue, clever repartee, but we were not pitching a comedy.
Right.
But they were so confused that 3 comedy guys, the 3 Seinfeld writers were pitching them like an actual movie that they just literally kept listening. And then they would go like a spoof. And they just kept going like, oh, like a spoof, no, not a spoof. This is a pitch.
Yeah.
And what we had that I love that they don't do in the movie, what our idea was. Sorry, I'm going to just pitch our idea. I don't care. Yeah.
This is the 100th episode.
100th episode. It's the 100th episode. And actually, time to open up a couple more of our Lord Dalton pieces, please. The basic idea was that when the movie begins, they're all in hiding.
Is it possible there are more in here?
Oh, I think so, but I don't know. Careful, it looks very delicate.
Yeah.
The movie begins, they're all in hiding, right? You know, for whatever happened in whatever fake, Vietnam, or I guess at that point, Desert Storm, or whatever the hell we were going to say. And the idea was that Hannibal Smith has sort of, basically, he's the dog with a bone. He won't give up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he starts the movie by like trying to break into like a government installation to get some truth or something. And we find out that, you know, they're still after him and whatever. And the basic gist is he more or less goes to Face and all the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And basically all of a sudden the army shows up and because like they're being followed. And it's like, no, they're not following me. I called them and told them where you are. So he blows the rest. They've gone separate. He blows their cover on purpose to force them back into being the A-team.
Okay.
So that basically the team starts off fucking hating each other and hating Hannibal. So you not only have to solve the mystery, but they have to come together as the A-team. And I honestly always thought that was a very good idea.
Winner, I think.
Oh,
Tom? It happened. Tom Bombadil, everybody. I'll figure out.
Smash it. Just smash it.
Hi diddly ho. Is that what he sings? Hi diddly ho. Hi diddly he.
And of course, Frodo.
Fantastic.
Look at that. Look at the nice difference. Look,
I forgot he was in that movie.
He looks younger than Bilbo. There we go. Look at that.
That's how you do an adaptation, by the way. You remove Tom Bombadil.
That is the definition, by the way, of an adaptation. That's actually well done. Well done. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not an adaptation. You just shoot it word for word. Unless you're the Maltese Falcon. No, that's not an adaptation. Yeah,
Hi diddly he. Great. This was
this was a hell of a show.
100 episodes.
100 episodes brought to you, as always, by our friends at Royal Dalton.
Gimli and Tom.
100 years since 1979, making fine porcelain, whatever. Brought to you by Heritage. The big Mighty Morphin Power Rangers auction coming up. We're going to learn so much about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the history of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It might even be nauseating. I'm going to learn so much.
It's entirely possible.
This was fun.
Yeah. It was great being together.
Goodbye. Subscribe. Be one of our 15,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah. You're missing out.
Be one of the real ones.
Yeah.
More unboxing videos coming every Wednesday. And then videos of unnamed other prop companies coming up too.
Yep.
And what else? Lots of videos.
At
Props Podcast on all social media. Like, subscribe. Just try and make a friend listen. We could do a show about coins, stamps, whatever you want. Collecting in general.
Maybe coins.
Yeah. Just coin. Well, I mean, if we're doing this, I mean, there's coins far behind. True. But yeah. Thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.
I'm stealing Aragorn.
No. He's mine. My precious.